but he seems like he's doing well. Yeah. I think that Brian seems like he's come through it.
Yeah.
And now, as with all great stories, he can laugh about it and make you guys laugh about it. So that's pretty great. And she sucks. That's what I say. All right, so now moving on to our next storyteller. This is a guy who, he's a Long Island educator. He's a business owner on Long Island, and I'm actually going to let him tell you all about that because it's all embedded in his amazing story. Please welcome to the stage, Ralph Talent!
Thanks for coming out, guys. I'm going to tell you a story that from when I was a younger man. About 38 years ago, when I was 23, I had quit teaching. I didn't like teaching. I got out of Oswego and didn't like it. So I opened a fish market, and it was a beautiful fish market. And I had beautiful walls and floor and the freshest fish. And the town loved me. I mean, loved me. And I was not arrogant, but I was confident that I was going to do a good job. And I was possessed. I got up in the morning at 6 in the morning. I would clean the floor. I would scrub everything. I went to Fulton Fish Market twice a week to buy fish. I'd bring it back, set it all up. And in Bellport, I had a really nice clientele. I had the local people, but I also had city people. And the city people liked to be treated really special. And I was good at that. I could really do that. So they would come in, and they come in on Saturday. Hi, Ralph. How are you? What's fish? What do you have fresh today? And I would say the halibut, or I got some beautiful salmon, or I got this red snapper. And I pretty much dictated what they fed their company on the weekend. I would, just sell them what I had. It was all good. I was the man. The local paper did a beautiful little article on me, and my wife Andrea and I, she wasn't my wife at the time, she was just my girlfriend, would help me run the store. She was waitressing a little at night, and we had a good thing going. So I had opened that store up in 1984, and all summer the business was growing, and we were like hot shit. And I would get up every morning. We were open 7 days a week, and it was 6 in the morning till 6 at night, and that was my life. And I loved it. I loved the pressure. I'm 23 years old. The business is just growing and growing and growing. Everybody loves me in town because I got the freshest fish. I'm like, I'm living the dream. I think I'm going to be a millionaire. No fish person's ever been a millionaire, but I'm living the dream because Ralph works harder than anybody else. So I get into this routine, and I have to go to the Fulton Fish Market twice a week. I have to clean the store, and I also have to take care of the dumpster outside because that gets a little smelly. So let's move forward, and I get to Labor Day. Labor Day forecast for the weather, 1984. If you all remember, I'm sure you do. It was mint. It was 3 beautiful days, 95 to 100 degrees. Sunny. Everybody came out to their weekend houses. Locals all went to the beach. Saturday was the big day. So Friday I went to the market, got all the fish, bought extra. It was beautiful. Laid everything out on the counter, decorated with ice. It was really a pretty thing. And I am possessed with making a lot of money this weekend. I'm going to make a lot of money. So my customers start coming in. 10 o'clock in the morning, I open the store. The line is already out the door. So some guys come in and they're like, Ralph, it's a little smelly outside. And I'm like, shit, I forgot to clean the dumpster. So, there's a line, and Andrea and I are waiting on the people, and we're having a good time, and everybody comes in. Ralph, what am I going to have for dinner? And I'm doing my thing, and I'm putting out more shrimp, and I'm putting out more scallops, and I'm cutting the halibut, and I'm dicing the salmon, and another good customer comes in. Now, some of these customers were really cool, and they set up charge accounts, so they could come in, and then they would show me off like I was, like a trophy kind of thing. They would say, John, this is Ralph, our fishmonger. This is the best shit. You can't believe this. What are we going to eat tonight? Tell John and I what we're going to eat. And I'd be like, I don't know. You want halibut? Whatever we're going to have. And they would put it on my account. They love saying that. Put it on my account. And none of the locals had accounts. It was just the people from the city. So, and I didn't care. So I just sent them the bill, and they would write me a check. So, here comes the good part. So, I'm backed up, you know, I'm caught up, and I'm like, and then another guy comes in and says, man, Ralph, it really stinks out there. What's going on? And I'm like, the dumpster. I forgot to clean the all right, Andrea, I'll be right back. I'm going to go outside and do the dumpster. And my routine with the dumpster is, you're not going to like this, but this is how we did it. Go out to the dumpster. It's on the other side of the parking lot, and it stunk. And the garbage man would come 2 times a week. So after he came, I would go outside, and I'd take a little gasoline, and I'd put it in the dumpster, and then I'd stand back, and I'm a really good basketball player, and I'd do a little 3-point shot with a paper bag that was on fire, and it would scorch the inside of the dumpster. And then the smell would go away, and we were good to go for another 4 days. So I go outside, and I go in the shed, and the gas can is empty. So I grab the kerosene can.
Oh boy.
So I grab the kerosene can, and I get a quart, and I run across the parking lot. Meanwhile, I see people pulling in the parking lot, and the line's getting longer, and Andrea's inside by herself, and I'm like, oh my God, I got to do this really quick. And I pour the kerosene into the dumpster. It's a big 3-yard dumpster, and I pour it in there, and I stand back with my little bag, and I light it, and I throw it, and nothing, because kerosene isn't combustible like gasoline. So there's so much pressure on me. I wasn't thinking, you know, it was my fault. I was just like, this isn't going to work. So I go inside. So that's about 10:30 in the morning. About 12 o'clock, my best customer comes in, Mrs. Levine. She's from France. She lives down on the water in Bellport, has her own tennis court, has pool, servants, the whole deal. And she would come in and she would prance in every Saturday morning after tennis lessons. She had private tennis lessons. And she would come in with her little mini skirt and sweaty, and she would just tease my ass. And she would just say, Ralph, what do you have today? What is fresh? What should we have? What my company is coming at 4. What will we have? And I'm like, oh, Mrs. Levine, I think you really like the halibut. Give me the halibut, Ralph. Put it on my account. So I would give her her fish, and she would be gone. But this day, 1984, 12 o'clock, I remember like it was yesterday. She comes in, Ralph, it stinks outside. I can't take it. I got out of my Jaguar and it's terrible. I almost didn't come in. What is going on? And I'm like, oh, Mrs. Levine, I'm so sorry. I mean, I'm like a kitten with I'm like, I'm so sorry. I didn't clean the dumpster. Oh, please come in. Please don't be mad. And she orders her fish and she storms out. And I'm like, shit. All right, I take my job seriously. I really do. And I was really mad at myself. So I'm like, Andrea, I'll be right back. Take care of this. You can do it. I'll be back. So I go outside, I grab the gas can, I go across the street. There happens to be a gas station right across the street. I go to the gas station across the street. You guys feel what's coming? Yeah. All right. I get 5 gallons of gas. I get it filled up. I'm going to have to mow the lawn the rest of the year. So I get the 5-gallon can, and I hump it across the road, put it up on my shoulder, lean over the dumpster, and pour in a quart. But the only reason I'm here is because I looked down and I saw the flame in the corner from 2.5 hours before, still burning. I have good cat-like reflexes. Like I told you, I was a good athlete. I was captain of the wrestling team. I snapped that can back just as it explodes. I can see it like it happened 2 minutes ago. The dumpster had, the flames had corners. It looked like the Space Shuttle Challenger took off from East Patchel. It was a 40-foot explosion that went straight up. So, I have the can. And I'd probably be a really good Marine. I wouldn't freak out. Because I had the can, and there was flames coming out of the spout. Oh my God. And I leaned over and put down the can, and looked, and my hair was on fire, because all the gas that went up in the air came sprinkled on me. So, my shirt's on fire, my hair's on fire, my eyebrows are on fire, and I'm like, shit. So I run across the parking lot, into the bathroom, and put myself out. Andrea comes around the corner and says, what'd you do? I mean, the whole place, like everybody in the parking lot's looking at the Challenger take off, and I just ran by. So I'm like, I fucked up. I really fucked up. But don't worry, I'm fine. I'm fine. I don't realize that I look like toast that left in the toaster too long. I'm like, I'm fine. Nothing really hurt, to tell you the truth. So I'm like, I'm fine. So ambulance was there in minutes. It was the weirdest thing. Someone called, ambulance there. Get in the ambulance. I'm like, I'll be right back. I will be right back. You can do this. Busiest day of the year of a business that is cranking, and I'm so worried that she's going to fall apart. So I'm like, you'll be okay. Just hold on. I'll be back in an hour. I came back in a month, by the way. But anyway, so I get to the hospital. Here comes the good part. So I get to the hospital, and they say, you got to go to North Shore Medical Center, the burn unit. And I'm like, get the fuck out of here. Clean this up. I got to go back. And they don't listen to me. My mom's an RN in Brookhaven, and they're talking like I'm a freaking 5-year-old. So they're not even like giving me any say in anything. We sent for the helicopter. And I hear, helicopter? Get the hell out of here. Helicopter? I've never been in a helicopter. I'm like, I want to go in a helicopter. So I'm like, okay, I'll go in a helicopter. So then I'll come back. So they get the helicopter, lands within like 5 minutes. It's in behind Brookhaven Memorial Hospital on the rounds thing. I'm like, yeah, baby. So they wrap me all up, and this helicopter that they move patients in is just like the one in MASH. It's got the pilot, it's got the nurse, and the gurney kind of thing is sticking out like halfway. And I was like, wow, this is cool. So they put me on the thing. I couldn't really see very well because I had my head wrapped up because my hair got burnt and my face was burnt. And I got to ride in the helicopter all the way down Southern State Parkway. And it was awesome because I schmoozed the nurse. I was like, yo, I gotta see this. She's like, no, you're burnt really bad. And I was like, no, this is my first helicopter ride. I gotta see this. So she leaned up the thing, and I pulled up the gauze, and I got to watch the whole thing. It was so exciting. Came back in the Nassau Medical Center. They wrap it around. They drop it right on the circle. This whole team of doctors and nurses come running out with a gurney. They put me for that gurney on that gurney. They wheel me upstairs. And this is when the shit starts happening. So I get upstairs, and I go into the room. First you go through all these clean doors, and I get in the room, and I have 3 roommates and an empty bed, and that's my bed. And I think I'm only here for a little while. Like, I'm Ralph, and I gotta go. Clean this up, I gotta go. And they just don't pay attention to me. So I'm like, it's gonna be fine. So that's what happens. A nurse comes in and says, she was I'm gonna try to do this best I can. She was from India, and she was hard, and she was rough, and she was in her 40s, and she wasn't taking any shit, especially from Ralph. And she's like, you take off your clothes. You're getting in. You have to get in the shower. We have to scrub you. And by the way, these 5 interns have to watch. And I'm like, what? And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. And she's like, no, they need to see this. This is important. And I was just like, oh, whatever. So I get naked in front of my 3 new roommates, in front of this nurse Cratchit, whatever the chick's name is, and this 5 interns, right, have their masks on and their face masks, and the shower's over here in the middle of our room, like on the side, and it's just a box, and it has a big spigot at the top, and she tells me to get in there, and then she pulls out a boat brush, a brush that you would, it was, and I was dirty. I had rolled around on the ground. So I'm like, this is not going to be good. And she grabs me by the nape of the neck and puts me in the shower, and then all the interns came into the doorway, and I was in the corner. I can't get too graphic because you guys will freak out, but she scrubbed me for 20 minutes in front of these people. And you want to talk about shrinkage? It wasn't there. It was gone. And I was a stud. I was Clamor, 23 years old. I was captain of the wrestling team, and I don't think I had a penis. It was gone. The 5 interns were crying like I was crying. And then 20 minutes later, I was done. So we're gonna jet. I get out of the shower, and I'm like shaking. I'm like, that sucked. Put on some Band-Aids. I gotta go back to the fish market. And they're like, sit the fuck down. You're not going anywhere. And I was just had to sit down. They come in. They wrap me up. I was there for a month. A month. I had to help with the orders, with the phone, regular rotary phone, no cell phones. Had to get deliveries to the fish market. About 2 weeks, all of a sudden doctors start coming in and they're amazed at how I'm healing. They're like, I had 3rd-degree burns. They didn't think I was going to die, but they thought I was going to be really messed up. And I was healing like they had never saw. They put, in the 3rd week, they brought in the book and they took pictures and they put me in the book with the people that they couldn't believe how they had healed. My face was burned. I had 3rd-degree burns. I'm fine. I'm fine. There's nothing wrong with me. And they were just amazed. So they said I had to stay. I got 1 skin graft over on my arm. That's all healed up. You can't even tell that's there anymore. And they were, you're going to have to stay another week. And I just said, nope, I'm out of here. And I packed up my stuff, and I was just thank them for the wonderful job they did. I mean, it was unbelievable. The therapy that I got while I was there is what made me okay today. And I'm thankful, and I realize one little mistake, and it could be over, or you could be maimed. Like I really could have been really scarred up really bad, even if I lived. I should be dead, but I'm alive. I live life to the fullest. I love it. I love that you guys came tonight. I just love life. I really do.
Now, this may shock you.